Okay, so we are going to start at the Brandon Valley High School homepage. Okay, and so brandonvalley.k12.sd.us will get you to the high school. And across the top are 6 links that will always stay there. Okay, you won't find them elsewhere. So if you haven't checked out the high school calendar, it's a Google calendar. So some of you might be able to, if you know, you can add that into your own. If you want the dates and such automatically added. There's your lesson plans if you need to find those. Menu, there's Skyward. And so we want to go to webmail. And if you have not signed in before, it'll prompt you. So you have to put in your email address and the password. And once you do it, you can just keep it in its memory bank. That way you don't have to have it open or have to type it in all the time. And honestly, I don't remember if there's anything else that you have to do to sign in. So are we in or getting there? I know some of you are still typing in your passwords, which is fine. Today might be a slow-moving day for technology. We'll kind of see how it goes. Bella, are you in? I think you had your hand. Isaiah, are you having any luck? Are you in? Do you have your password? Oh, your email's see how you have it here. Anybody else? Okay. Whoa. All right, so now when you get into your email, some of you are going to have a lot of messages because you've been collecting them over the last however many years. Okay. You don't need to keep emails for 4 years at a time. Okay, so if you have emails going back to 2018, do you really need them? Okay, just clean things up so things don't get mixed in, because it depends on how things get sorted. It's depending upon how you're going to see things. Okay, so if you have year-old emails, you can use the command key to select multiple ones that are not all together. So if I wanted to, okay. Otherwise, if you hold your shift key, it'll select all of them that are directly in line. And then you can just hit your delete key. Okay. So don't be afraid to go in and clean things up. The other thing to do is something you can also do over in your inbox. Okay. You can make a folder. You should just be able to right click. Oh, sorry, here we go. You got to go down to the folders and go to inbox, and you can create a new folder. So if you wanted a folder just for your English class, you do a lot of messaging and so forth, go for it. Okay. So then if and when you want to create a new message, which you are all going to create a new message. So in the upper left-hand corner, click on where it says new message. And you are going to put my email address in. And if it pops up with options, mine does say Brandon Valley. Because there is another Missy Johnson who works for this Department of Corrections, which has to do with prisoners and so forth. And I was getting emails that I really didn't care to get. So that's why. So mine does say Brandon Valley. Not every teacher's does. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to choose. Do you have an option that says add a subject? Anybody not have add a subject? Okay, this would be something really good to do just because some emails, some teachers, all of that have ways of sorting, and they may sort it based on subject for some reason. Okay, so don't just leave the subject line blank. So just for our purpose, just go ahead, excuse me, and let's go ahead and just put in, just go testing email. Okay, and then down in the body of your email, don't worry about a signature, we'll take care of that here another time if you don't already have one. But go ahead and in your message, couple things to always include. Somewhere, somehow, okay, you always want to include what class you're in or what hour class you're in when you're emailing a teacher. It's just helpful. So if I have 3 different class periods and I get 10 different emails from different students about being gone and all of that, well, what class period are you in? Okay, so we'll just kind of start with, be courteous. So just tell me hi or hello. I'm in your, second period. Okay. And then you can enter, you can continue on. For this particular email, just give me a quick little snippet on what you did while you were quarantined. Was there something you did differently? Did you just kind of have to sit at home in your room? Were you able to still go and I don't know, okay? Or just something unique that you may have done, okay? Maybe you colored your hair a wild color, or you did a weird haircut, or you every day had to walk your dog 3 times a day just to get out of the house, or I don't know, okay? Something just short, simple, to the point. And then across the bottom, there should be a send. So you can go ahead and send me your email. And here they all come. So anytime you email a teacher, just have some assist them in figuring out what class you're in. Okay, it doesn't mean they don't know who you are, but when you have 3 or 4 of the same class throughout the day, they all kind of run together sometimes. Okay, couple other things with your email. Okay, in the upper right hand corner, okay, we have our different icons of sorts. If you find the one that it has the dial, it'll be your settings. Okay. You can go in, change your theme if you have not done so. Are you allowed to do that? Yes. And then what I want to have you do, and some of you this may already have been done, depends upon how often you use your email and such. Find where it says focused inbox and take that off. So if it's on, you might want to remove it. Because what it does is if I go to my inbox now, so now I have this focus and I have this other. And sometimes your email gets put into one or the other. and it becomes confusing, okay? So by turning the focused inbox off, they all should come into the same location. Okay. If you want notifications that you have new emails when you're on your desktop and so forth, you can turn your notifications on. Totally up to you. If you don't have your newest message at the top, you might want to do that because then you don't have to scroll. And then some people like to have that preview window instead of on the right, it'll be at the bottom. Totally up to you. So there's some settings that you can go in and change. Okay. Any questions with your email? Problems that it's not functioning the way it should be? Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go to another destination on your Mac that some of you may have already visited for other reasons, or when you first got your Mac, they had you go out to this for some reason. I'm not sure. If you go to your dock, so if you moved your dock to the left or to the right, okay, mine's always at the bottom. Okay, find the manager. Looks like a little Wi-Fi signal of sorts. Okay. Now yours might look a little different than what you see for me. In the upper right-hand corner, go to where it says self-service and choose my apps. You're good. Okay? Yep, you're fine. If you want to change the theme, you can, but right now, don't worry about it. Yep, you just want to make sure you got it. So some people leave it open all the time. Okay, now go down here, top. Oh, you don't have that? Okay, that's what the student's view looks different. That's why I didn't know what yours is gonna look like. Okay, so when you went in, it brought you basically to this screen, right? Is that what this is new this year? This program, we used a different one before. Okay, so you should see apps, okay? This is where you come to do any updates. So if there's an update that needs to be done for one of your apps, it might automatically always say install or update. It's not going to go away. There's no visual of sorts. So if something's installing or you're updating it, it's not going to show you that. But here's the thing with the self-service, okay, or your apps. Sometimes you can get to this and install things when you're at home. Sometimes you have to be in the building, okay? So if you look at your apps, we're going to see if you have what we need for this class, okay? So the apps that you see are specific for you. Your friend may not have the same things. If they're not in a specific computer class, they may not have some of the software, okay? So if we're missing something, then we need to, I need to know that so then we can go on to the next step. Here's what I want you to do. Keep this open, okay? And get to your launch pad, the little rocket. And if you created a hot corner for it, use your hot corner. Okay, so here's your launch pad. Okay, now you can personalize it like you can on a smartphone and move your icons and so forth. Okay, just that same exact way. So if I hold down on one of my icons, things will start shaking and shimmying and so forth. Okay, so if on your smartphone you know, okay, if I drag two icons one over the other, it'll help you create a folder. And yes, you can create folders. Okay, so I have folders for different software packages by just dragging them. Okay, here's what I want you to actually do. So just click. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay, click up where it says search. If you're still shimmying, just click off, and you might have to go back. I don't know if escape allows you to quit the shimmy. And I want you to type the word paint. Paint.
Where?
Up in the search on your launch pad. Okay. Now, I have no results. Anybody else have no results? Okay. Hopefully, and I don't have it because I have to go and install, and I have not done that. Hopefully, you have something that's called Paint X Lite. So if you don't, okay, if you don't have it, then back in self-service, find the program that says Paint. I think it says X Lite.
No, it's just Paint X.
Just Paint X? Okay, thank you. Okay, so if you had it when you did a search on your Launchpad, you don't have to do anything else. If you didn't have it, is it in your apps, in your manager? If it is, then go ahead and click the install. If it is not, then I need to know because Paul has to then do something on his end. Anybody else not have it in either location? The Launchpad, you searched, and it's not in your apps. So like me, it's not on my Launchpad and it is not in my apps. So I can't just go and install it just because I'm a teacher. Paul still needs to give that to me, the tech guy. Okay? So we only have one person that doesn't have access to it. If it's in your app list, install it if it wasn't already installed. Okay? We're going to do the same thing. This time we're going to look for Word. Okay, so I'm going to go to my launch. And I could scroll and look for it. Otherwise, if you type Word, there's mine. I have it. So mine is already installed. It shows up on my Launchpad. If it did not, okay, is it in my apps list? It is. So I could install it. Now these you usually can do when you're outside of the building. And sometimes that's better just because then you don't have to worry about all the other people on the network. Okay? Anybody not have Word? So it's not on your Launchpad or it's here, it's not here either? Okay, if it's here, go ahead and install it. If it's in one or the other place, that I don't need to know that. I just need to know that it's in neither. So Gunner still doesn't know where you got left off in the mix of things. So Wyatt, did you install? Okay. So Kaylee, did you find it? Word? Yay, nay? Not sure? Okay. Okay, so now go back to your manager. No. Yep, we're gonna talk about that. Okay, anybody else not see it? And either. Okay, now here's the thing you have to keep in mind. Okay, this might take a little while. Paint is a small program, probably didn't take but maybe a couple minutes. You probably now have Paint if you hit the install button. So it probably didn't take too long. But Word and other programs will take a little longer, so it might be 15 minutes before you see it. As long as you see the message of, what does it say? Sent to control. Well, let me do one that I don't really. It usually gives you a message of some sort that it sent it. There we go. Command sent to the device. As long as you see that, it's working. That's the only visual you will get. Not a huge fan of that, but that's the case. So when I first installed things, it took a while. Okay, Isaiah, don't touch somebody else's computer. Put it back. We live in a world now that you don't touch other people's things. Okay. So Gunner has neither. Anyone else not have access to either one? Which one, or Isaiah? But you had Paint, right, Isaiah? Okay, anyone else have issues with it? And we always have something. Okay, so I only have Gunner and Isaiah, and neither one they don't have either Word or Paint. Everybody else has Word and Paint. Okay, all right. So I will let them know that we need to address that for you too. All right, so if it's installing, if you're going, yep, I'm installing Word, okay, it's fine. You can leave this open, you can close it, it's just working in the background. Those of you that had it, you can close out of your manager. We don't need to stay in there for any purposes, okay? So we'll keep working through that. Hopefully Monday, and even maybe later today, you guys might have it, okay? Here's what I would like you to do. Okay, go to Schoology. So if you were waiting for the email yesterday for you to reset your password, if you have not done that, maybe go do that.
Do we have to reset our password?
No, some people forgot them. So then they had to go through that process. All right, where's my computer apps? There we go. Okay. So in Schoology, you needed to add a course. And there's the access code, and it's also in Classroom. Because remember, we're still going to utilize Schoology, okay, some. mainly maybe to submit files or your assignments. So we need to be able to get into it. So anybody still struggling? Trying to think who. Kenzie, did you get your email? Were you waiting for an email yesterday? Nope. Trying to remember who was. Anybody still not get an email if you were looking to reset your password? Again, you didn't have to. It was just if you didn't remember it or if you didn't have an account already. So if I go into members, I should see all 24 of us or 20 of us, whatever there are. Okay. So there we were coming in there. Okay. So again, we'll use it, not today. We're just making sure it's getting ready to use. All right. So now here's the next thing I want to do. On your tables, there is a converter of sorts. Okay, looks like this, and it has something plugged in, which is the external monitor. Okay, and you should have the USB connection, the new version, the C. So take the end and plug it in, and you should be able to plug it in on the left-hand side. You have two options.
That's what I do.
Okay. Are we plugged in? Do you not have anything on the external screen? Is it still black? Anybody's still black? Okay, here's the couple things that you might need to do. Okay, if the external screen is still just a solid black, okay, did the power get shut off? In the bottom right hand corner of your screen, there's a little button. Okay, it should be blue to show that it's on. So if you have something on your external screen, it's on. We'll deal with what's on there. Okay. Then, if it still doesn't turn on, you may not have power at all. So check if there's a power strip that has the on-off, that may have gotten clicked. And if that still doesn't solve it, it might be because the power on the back of the monitor got pulled out a little bit. So anyone still just have a blank black screen? Because it happens. Because you guys are the first ones to use them this year. We have not used them yet. Okay. I'm going to go to the back of the room so I can see screens. And head to your system preferences. Okay. Interesting. All right, so right now you are able to connect. I gotta check. Yes, you may. Okay, in your system preferences, find where it says display. So mine's in the first column. Okay. And when you click on display, two things are going to happen. You're either going to get the same thing that you see on your Mac on that external screen, or you're going to get a different window. Okay? We're going to get, so everybody has the same thing. We're going to get there. So when you go to display, okay, two things. If you notice, you want to be on the tab or the window that has the arrangement across the top, which should be on your Mac. Okay? Now, when you go to the arrangement, you should also see, and I can't do this, otherwise you wouldn't see it up front, a check mark in the bottom left-hand corner that says Mirror Displays. Okay? If you deselect it, if it's not selected, go ahead and not select it. You're now using two different monitors for two different views. So what you see up front, for me, is not what I have on my Mac. They're different. You're basically set up in what's called a dual monitor. Okay? Now, on that arrangement view, okay, the arrangement view lets you figure out, okay, where is your second monitor in relationship to your Mac? So, I'll move mine over. Because mine are side by side, the one with the little white bar across the top is your Mac. Okay? This other one is to the right. That means in order to get something onto my external screen, I slide things to the right. If I want to get it back over onto my Mac, I slide it to the left. You can set that up how you want. Some people would rather have their external screen like above, which means now you drag things up or down. I will tell you, with your dock along the bottom of your screen, sometimes that's not the best thing, because now if you're trying to get to your dock, you might actually slide off and get to your Mac screen or whatever it might be. Okay, so I would recommend having them side by side. And you can have them on either side. So if you're like, okay, but the external screen for me is on the left, you can move that. So if I wanted it over on the left. But when I sit at my desk, my external screen's on the right side. So that's why I have it on the right. So set it up how you would want it to look.
How do I get my mouse back to
Okay, so you have to go to the left. You're over here.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if you are attached to the external screen, so you're going, okay, wait, you're looking for your mouse. It might be on the other monitor, on the other screen. Okay, so if I'm over here on my external screen and I want to get back to my Mac is to the left, so I got to move my mouse to the left, and now it's over on my Mac screen. Okay, so that's if you don't want to see the same thing. I want us to see the same thing. So I would like you to put the check mark where it says Mirror Displays. Because when you mirror, now, if I need to help you with something, okay, I can point on the larger screen if I need to. So if I'm standing in front of you, I can reach over and point, okay, and I don't have to point on your Mac. And some people just like it because it's bigger. It gives you more workspace, okay? So there'll be days that I go, you have to be mirrored. So whatever you see on your Mac is what I will see on your external screen. Some days I'll be like, it's totally up to you. If you want your directions on the Mac and you want to be working off of your larger 19-inch monitor, then you don't have to mirror things. So you don't have to keep going back and forth between tabs or windows. Okay. So a lot of our directions are electronic. So instead of having a printout or a book of sorts, we just have an external screen. So then you can have two monitors. Okay. So that's your display. Now, if you are not connected to another monitor, you're not going to get that arrange tab. And when you're mirroring, you can't move them. Okay, it doesn't work because it's the same screen. But the minute you take that check mark off, then it'll keep the settings that you have. Okay, so mirror your screens. And you can close out of your display is fine. And let's go down to your dock or over to your dock, wherever your dock is. Okay, if you moved it, again, it's okay. So we're just looking at your physical dock. What if there's something on there that we don't want on there? We don't use the contacts or we don't use the FaceTime button. Exactly. Hold it and drag it up onto your desktop area and it'll go away. That does not mean you're deleting it. That just means you're getting it off of your dock. So if there's a lot of icons on your dock that you're going, I don't ever use them, then just drag them off. Anyone not able to do that? So if I were going to choose one, it's kind of hard with my Screencastify, but let's say my contacts, I can click on it. You can go to options and remove it. You could do that too. It's hard for me to do, and I don't want to get rid of my other ones. Okay, so you should be able to just drag it off. How do you add to it? Same concept. Okay, if you go to your Launchpad, now remember you can do a 3-finger pinch. 3 fingers, thumb, pinch it on your trackpad. That should take you to your Launchpad. Same concept. If you want to add something down there, you can click and drag an icon and place it where you want. You can move them around. Click and drag them on your dock. So if your dock gets really clustered or cluttered, I should say, clean it up. Okay. The other thing with your dock, if you're new to the Mac world, okay, if you see a little dot below one of your icons on your dock, what does that mean? It's open and it's running in the background, which sometimes you want it that way, okay? But then it's also using battery, okay? So if there's something that you don't want, you can right-click and you can quit that app. So the little dot is an indicator. Now you could go into one of your settings and remove the dot, but I wouldn't recommend doing that just because sometimes battery life is important, okay? Okay, continuing with modifying some things so you can change your dock. Let's go to your Finder. So that's the little blue and white half face. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so we talked about this sidebar. You can change and modify what's available on your sidebar as well. So we're going to actually do one for sure. I would like you to go to your documents over along the side. Okay. Most of you have nothing in your documents. Okay. Well, I want you to create a folder. So you could right-click to the right of it, and your view might look a little different. New folder. Or you can go up across the top to the dial and choose new folder. Okay? Name it Computer Apps. So in your documents, you now have a folder called Computer Apps. Because we save to your hard drive a lot, we don't save out in the cloud, we save to your hard drive just because of the software we use, okay? So here's where you can start organizing. So if there's something you want to make a folder for English, you can Okay. Some people put it on their desktop, which is fine, but sometimes your desktop can get a little cluttered. So we can take this folder and make a shortcut over along our left-hand side. So I'm going to click and drag on the folder, and when I move it over, I don't want to be on something, I want to be between. So I'm just going to go up to the top between my recents and then my shortcut to the website, and then I just let it up. You didn't move it, you just created a shortcut. Because we want to have quick access to it. And we want to have it along the side of our Finder. Okay? One more thing. Staying on your Finder. Look along the left-hand side in your sidebar and you have applications. Here's another location where you can find apps. So your Launchpad, okay, your Spotlight searching, and now in your Finder you can go to your applications, and here they all are. Okay, across the top you have your different view buttons. So if you like the icon view, okay, that's the first one. If you want them listed, if you want the different panels, so if I click on something, it'll then show me in the next panel over. Or if you want to kind of have the scroll view, I'm not a fan of that. Okay. All right, so now all you need to do is pull the plug for your external screen. You don't have to do anything other than just nice and pull that out. Okay. You do not have any homework unless there's something that you need to clean up and organize in your email. I would just get that done so you don't have to worry too much about it outside of getting confused and stuff. Okay, so there's no homework, nothing you have to worry about. And then we will begin a few things on Monday when we come back.